wanna be free.
Across the hills, voices stretching farther than expected, laughter arriving moment too late, as though it had taken a longer path than the one it was given. The wind forgets its haste, it slips low through the grasses, lifts loose strands of hair, presses lightly against the skin as though reacquainting itself with the shape of the living. Even the dark is altered. It is not empty, not still. It does not sit like a blanket over the land, but feels instead like something aware, something that listens from every direction at once. The hills themselves seem to hold their breath. They rise in long, painted curves beneath a pale moon that has not yet reached fullness. Stone walls, softened and yet broken by time, trace old boundaries that no longer divide anything. Hawthorn trees stand scattered along the slopes, their blossoms pale and faintly luminous, their branches twisting in shapes that seem to remember older winds. The path that leads to the rise has been worn smooth by many feet, not all of them recent. The earth beneath it gives slightly, softened by thaw, and beneath that softness lies a dense network of roots holding fast to what has always been there. And when the fires are lit, they do not begin. They remember. The wood is brought up before the sun has fully gone. Oak and ash, split and dried, kindling tied in bundles, bark peeled back in long curling strips. Hands move with a kind of quiet certainty, placing each piece where it belongs without needing to be told. Two pyres are raised upon the crest of the hill. They are not placed close together. They are not meant to touch. Between them is left a deliberate space, a narrow path of bare earth, worn and flattened, waiting. When the flame is brought, it is not rushed. A single torch is carried upward from the hearth below, its fire already alive, already fed. It leans once in the wind as though considering whether to remain, and then steadies its glow, deepening. The first pyre takes slowly. Smoke rises, thick and pale, curling upward before thinning as the flame finds its way into the wood. It crawls at first, tracing along bark and fiber, then climbs, then opens, orange and gold, edged with a thin line of blue where it burns hottest. The second follows in much the same way. Soon both fires stand, breathing, shifting, alive. Their heat presses outward in steady waves, pushing back the damp of evening. Sparks lift and drift upward, vanishing into the dark almost as soon as they are seen. Between them the path glows, not fully lit, not shadowed, something held between. The people gather as they always have. They come from the low cottages tucked into the valley, from fields newly turned for planting, from the edges of the woods where the trees grow thick and close. They come in linen and wool, in skirts that brush the ankle, in boots that still carry the dust of the day. Some wear flowers already woven into hair, tied at the wrist. The fire in that moment is not refusing, it is waiting. Then, when whatever must align has done so, the flame comes into itself. Not in wild hunger, not in the reaching grasp of something eager to consume, but in a steadiness that settles rather than startles. It gathers, holds, and becomes something that does not need to prove its presence. There is a way such a fire carries itself. The old stories speak of it carefully, for not all flames are alike. Some burn and scatter, some leap and devour, and these are familiar. But there are others, rarer though not lost, that change in quality once they are fully risen. They do not flicker as though uncertain. They do not strain upward. They hold. It is said once that there was a name for this, not a name used to summon, not a name given lightly or spoken to impress. A name remembered only when fire ceased to be, only what hands had made and became something that revealed more than it concealed. Belanas. The name does not belong to the fire, nor does the fire belong to the name. It is simply that in certain tellings, when such a flame is recognized, this word rises with it, as though memory itself was chosen to surface. And then, when the fire becomes this, it does not warm as the other fires do. It reveals. The crossing begins as it always has. The cattle are driven first, their bodies knowing something their keepers do not always admit. Their breath grows loud, their steps uncertain, and still they pass between the twin flames, through smoke that clings and marks in ways not entirely seen. Then come the people. Some pass quickly, laughing, treating the crossing as form and nothing more. The stories do not fault them. Not all come to be changed. Some come only to belong to the rhythm of the season, and that too has its place. Some place pass in silence. These are the ones that the old voices linger near, not because they are greater, but because they have begun to feel that is not only repetition. There is a weight to their steps, a listening in their bodies that mirrors the listening of the flame. And it is said that there is always calling, and the woman steps forward. The heat reaches her before the flame does. It presses along her arms, her face, the front of her body. It dries the air in her mouth, and it sharpens the scent of burning wood until it fills her breath. The ground between the fires is warm beneath her feet, softened by countless crossings, and she steps into it. The flames do not change. They rise and fold as they always have, contained within their own movement. And yet, something does. Her breath catches, just once, sharp and sudden. Heat presses close, not painful but insistent. Sweat gathers at the back of her neck and slips down along her spine. The night air beyond the flames feels distant now, thin as though it belongs to someone else entirely. Her hands curl without meaning to. There is a place in her chest, a familiar tightness, something long held that draws inward, sharper now for being noticed.